broken Britain. And let's start by making sure that reform local governments mend the potholes.
Millions of voters are angry at the political system, angry at the empty suits shuffling deck chairs on the Titanic, looking for something different. But we know that Reform UK are not something different.
Reform UK is contesting nearly all the 1,600 council seats up for re-election on the 1st of May, and Nigel Farage has big plans.
We probably need a Doge for every single county council in England.
Local elections are the first litmus test for Starmer's government, and with the popularity of Labour dropping in the polls and the Conservatives stagnant, could the Green Party position itself as the real opposition to reform? Laura Eadie is a Green candidate in Kent's County Council elections.
People have literally had enough of these two main parties. They want something different, and that's what Reform are promising. But actually, we know that they're run by billionaires, and that's the interests they have. They're not going to be looking after our NHS. They're not going to be looking out for our services. So it's very frustrating when people are being sort of sold a lie, in my opinion, and they definitely want an alternative, and I do think that's the Green Party. At the moment, it's a Conservative-led council, but we definitely have a lot of reform interest around here. So, I mean, what they're offering is the same nationally. It's fear-based policies and blaming the immigrants for basically everything we have with what's wrong in our society, although we're actually the sixth wealthiest country in the world. And we could have a wealth tax, and I think that's what we're missing here. It's the Green Party put forward a message of hope over the sort of more divisive messaging from Reform.
This is one of the parts of the country where the Conservatives typically have a base. People thought that they had something to offer, and over 15 years of austerity, scandal, lies, corruption, people finally realising that the Conservative Party don't have their best interests at heart. Unfortunately, there's a gang of grifters that have stepped into that void. Reform UK. A lot of old Tory voters are looking at Reform because they think it's the answer, and Reform are appealing to new people who are just sick of the establishment parties. I think what it says about the area is that it's somewhere that's been left behind, somewhere that people feel like they're not listened to, they're disenfranchised, they don't feel they've got a voice, they don't feel like things can get better, and that's why they're looking to shake up the political system. People don't know what Reform UK's policies are. YouGov have done polling of 4,000 Reform voters who voted for Reform in the general election. 70% of them believe in public ownership. 70% of them believe that billionaires get too much money. People don't actually know what Reform UK stands for, what Farage stands for. He wants to privatise the NHS. He wants to slash our benefits. People aren't voting for Reform because they know about the policies, because they don't know about the policies, and if they did know about the policies, they wouldn't be voting for Reform, they'd be voting Green.
You are out here campaigning today with the Green Party. What's brought you out to do that?
I'm here because I feel like there's a real threat of reform getting in these county council elections, and I just feel that it's really important to combat reform with a really positive green voice. Reform don't have the solutions, but I feel like we do as a party, so it's important to understand what the problems are on the doorstep and hopefully sort of tell the great things that Laura's doing here.
You've been out door knocking this morning. When you're knocking on the doors, are you hearing lots of support for reform?
Yeah, definitely. So like I say, at the moment it's currently a very Labour dominated area, the place I'm standing in, but that vote has absolutely fallen away. I've heard people say to me that they've been tearing up Labour literature as it comes through the door. So people have really had enough, and do you know what, I understand that, because we've had 15 years of austerity, and we had a little bit of hope when Labour government got in, and they've carried that on. They've not changed that. They've not given anyone any reason to feel any differently. So definitely on the doorstep we're having these messages, and people are looking towards reform. Obviously, like I say, they're blaming immigrants for the issues. But actually, like I say, we could have a wealth tax. There is different ways of doing this. But these myths that they're perpetuating are encouraged by the media. Actually, the Labour government are jumping on this bandwagon. So what chance do people have in having a different thought process on what the real issues are? So I feel like that's the message we're trying to put out there.
Laura just seems to be someone who is visible, and I think that's really important to me, that specifically for this area, which is the area that I believe Laura is in and around, she is always visible and she's seen and people see her, and she's on Facebook and she's very active in the community. So that for me would be a particular reason to vote for her, not just the fact that she is Green, but it probably would also sway in the fact that she does stand for the Green Party as well, to be fair.
So you'll be voting Green at this council election then?
Definitely. Because I'm a teacher. I'm a science teacher in particular. So I do teach about global warming and climate activism and stuff. So if I don't follow the cause myself, so I can't be a teacher teaching it. If I don't believe it, I shouldn't be teaching that to my children.
Why do you view the Greens as being that alternative as opposed to, Labour or the Conservatives?
Well, Labour and Conservatives have basically become the same. Labour have come in, they've really let down a lot of people here. That's what we're hearing on the doorstep. They thought Labour would be different, but they're just the same as the Tories. So we understand why people think that, they want change and reform could be that, but they're really not. And Laura's been working really hard in the community. The Greens are offering a positive thing of a wealth tax and other policies that will really make a difference in people's lives.
When you have been outdoor knocking this morning, what sort of thing have you been hearing from people?
We're just hearing that people are really struggling. They're fed up. Labour and the Conservatives are the same. They're not offering any change for people's lives. And that's why, the Green Party can really sort of change that.
Do you view the Green Party as a left-wing alternative to reform?
Yes, I do. Actually, we're a party of social and environmental justice. So obviously Labour are actually called the Labour Party, but they're not standing up for the working person or in fact, people who, we've got the most vulnerable in society being targeted now. We've got people who are pensioners, you had poorer families and now people who are disabled. We should not be targeting these people. We've got the wealth in this country. It needs to be more equally distributed.
We're out here talking to voters today that are really let down by Labour, let down by the Tories, and they're looking for something new. Greens Organise is a left-wing network within the Green Party of England and Wales. We've got a vision for the Green Party as a bold campaigning force that articulates the anger that so many of us, millions of voters and thousands of people in the Green Party feel towards our electoral system and establishment politicians. And we think that the Green Party can be more boldly articulating that vision.
Are the Green Party the left-wing alternative to reform?
So Greens Organise are running a campaign around the country that we're calling Taking the Fight to Reform. We recognise that millions of voters are angry at the political system, angry at the empty suits shuffling deck chairs on the Titanic, looking for something different. But we know that Reform UK are not something different. They are more of the same, if not worse, for ordinary working people. And the Green Party is the only party right now that it seems is standing up for people and standing up for the values that we all share. I think there's lots to be hopeful about. And there's lots of places where I'm really confident that Green is going to be making gains. And honestly, I think as a Green Party, we can do more. We can be bolder. We can articulate that anger better. And we can build for the future.